Hi beautiful kindred souls. It's been so long since I made a video and I just haven't felt inspired enough to make one, and I also haven't had a chance to get someone to help me with editing these videos. So today I thought I'll just share something small that I've been doing that has made a big difference in my life, and it's called the Dopamine menu. And I learnt about this through watching a video by someone called Haley, and I might just pop a link in about that. And it's basically called the Dopamine menu. So whatever makes you happy, you jot that down, and it's in the form of an appetizer, in the form of a main meal, sides, and also in the form of specials and desserts. So this is my little dopamine menu book, and I just did it from a normal scrapbook, and you can kind of see I've just got a little plain scrapbook and I just wrapped it up in some gift wrapping paper. And then I created an appetizer menu. So my appetizer menu looks a little bit like this, and on my appetizer I've written down making a cup of flower tea, journaling and intention, and having flower fun ideas, because I've discovered that all things flowers makes me very happy. Standing in father-son sunshine, so I like to really feel like I'm connected to the elements, and I like thinking of the sun as father sun and the earth as mother earth. I've also put down hug Serenity, Serenity is actually a tree in our front garden who I've named Serenity because every time I see her I feel serene and I love hugging her. Walking on Mother Earth, so this is just a bit of grounding, and we all know the benefits of walking barefoot on the earth and just feeling connected to the earth and grounding. And the other thing I put down here was looking at and touching a very pretty flower. And sometimes I will actually lean down, inhale the scent of the flower, or give the flower a little kiss. And so these are some of my appetizers, and they're called appetizers because they're really simple and quick to do. So then you can have your main meal or your main offering. So these are the things that take a little bit longer to make you feel better. And some of these for me are reading a romantic book with some delightful music in the background. And obviously Mother Nature agrees with me on this one. I'm getting lots and lots of breezy smiles from the leaves. Painting flowers in Mother Nature, that's another really lovely one. Making a rose hot chocolate, and I recently saw this on YouTube, but basically what it is you make your hot chocolate the way you normally would make a hot chocolate, and that is, for me, I just put some plant-based milk and I put a bit of cacao and a bit of cinnamon in it, but I've also started putting organic rose petals in the hot chocolate, and then I strain it and it's got this beautiful rose-infused scent in it. And then I also put some rose petals, crushed rose petals in the end, and it is just divine. There's something already amazing about having a hot chocolate, but having a rose hot chocolate is just extra beautiful. Getting massages with flower-based creams, so using creams that are just purely of like natural plant or flower materials, and then putting that in the skin. That feels so amazing to me, so I really love that. Walking in Mother Nature, or even watching a classical movie. I must admit, I love Bridgerton, and I really love those old classic romance movies. They make me really happy. There's something very sweet and innocent about most of them, and yeah, it's just, I just love that whole historical drama, that period drama. And I also love baking delicious food, or taking a bath with oils in them, or recently I've started taking some of the flowers in the garden or shells and rose petals and putting them in the bath and lighting a candle. And sometimes I might read a book in the bath, but other times I might just lie in the water, put some Epsom sea salts and just have a bit of a soak. And it is really quite divine, and it is really the simple things in life that really light me up. And it takes a little bit longer, but it is fully worth it, and I tend to do it on my days off. And the other thing I wrote down was having a bit of a play in Mother Nature. So my daughter and I, we decided to make a little bit of a fairy village in our garden, and we just used some sticks and bark and a few other materials from the earth and glued them together. And maybe if I get a chance, I might show you a little bit of the fairy garden. And we just made some little bits of furniture out of clear material, and it was all very simple, but just nice to get our hands and our hearts involved and be out in nature as well. So that was really lovely. And then sides. So sides are some of the things that you can do when you don't really want to be doing what you're doing, but you know you've got to get it done. And so often I might be listening to an audiobook or listening to a podcast, or recently I've actually put one of my favorite playlists on, and actually I didn't even make it up on Spotify because I've been putting all these favorite songs on. Spotify made me up a cleaning mix, so I was really happy with that and played that while I did some ironing. And the other thing I really love is having cozy snacks. So sometimes if I'm having to, check some accounts or just some of the stuff that I have to really get stuck in my mind for, I'll have a cozy snack on a pretty little cottagecore plate and light a candle and put some relaxing music, and that makes it all the more bearable. I've also got a little swing in my garden, and I love just sitting on the swing and thinking my thoughts out, or just actually thinking about nothing but just enjoying being out. And hammock. Being in the hammock is a really lovely sides for me. So if I feel like I have to, plan something or do something or think about something and I can't quite work it out, sometimes I might just go and lie in my hammock, and to be honest, most of the times I just fall asleep, but then somehow the answers just come to me. And I think I've just really discovered how much I love being in the forest garden, which is my garden, and I just love being near all these banana leaves, trees, and I actually realized I just love being at home. I really, really love being at home, and everything just feels just so lovely and peaceful and calm, and I'm just really enjoying slowing down. So anyway, that was just a little side note about my sides. Dessert is another thing that I really put down, which was, these are things that you might do once in a while for yourself, but you can also do it more often if you want to, and that's listening to a story over a hot chocolate. There's this really, really lovely lady on podcasts, and it's called Michelle's Sanctuary, and it's bedtime stories for adults, and it's all based on mindfulness, but like the stories are just delicious stories, and the way she describes the stories makes you feel like you're actually there and makes you just feel so relaxed and slowed down. I'd highly recommend it. Buying myself a treat or a little gift, and also buying clothing which has flowers on it. Well, today I'm wearing something that has more cherries on it, but you can't see this dress, but the dress actually has got flowers on it, and anything to do with flowers these days makes me really happy. And then specials. So these are the things that you might do, when you have a little bit more time, but once in a while. And I've been visiting a bookshop cafe, and the other day I visited a bookshop cafe in Leaderville, and it was really lovely. There's something about bookshops and food and cozy atmospheres that just feel so delightful to my soul. So I really like that. And going to the forest is another big thing for me that I really, really love. Although I must say I don't go to the forest as much these days because I have really been spending a lot more time in my foresty garden. And I'm realizing I think I am just as happy here in this foresty garden as I am out in the forest. In fact, I feel more well acquainted with the trees here than I do in the forest naturally because I don't know them as well. But I'm starting to really enjoy just being at home. So yes, that is something that I could do. The other thing I've written is going on a day trip. So going on a day trip somewhere. And here I think I was thinking about somewhere local, maybe to the beach, or I think one time we went to Rottnest, but it was, it's not something you would do all the time, or maybe you would, I don't know. And visiting the library is another thing. I've actually really enjoyed the anticipation of picking up books that I have put on, what do you call it? Put on storage? No, you know what I mean. Put on hold. That's it. And there's that sense of delayed gratification, and it's really nice. I guess what I'm trying to say is throughout this whole process, I'm really discovering that it is really the little things that make me happy, that really light me up. And I'm so glad I'm discovering that. And all these little things, these are called the little dopamine hits, So if for a moment in time I'm not really sure, I'm feeling a little bit like, not feeling as energized or as joyful, or it's been a difficult day for whatever reason, then I come to this little book, which I've created myself, which makes it even more special because I actually enjoyed the process of creating it. And as you can see, it's super simple, like I've literally drawn some borders, put the titles up, and I just look at this book and I think, well, what can I do very quickly? Oh, an appetizer. And for me, it's as simple as even just touching a flower that makes me feel much better. Or just making a cup of tea. Just these little acts that take, a couple of minutes. And yeah, it really gives me a bit of a dopamine hit, a bit of a dopamine boost, or a lot of a dopamine boost. So I've been meaning to share this with you for some time now, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I hope that wherever you are feeling well and happy, and that every day you are discovering what makes the little moments in your life meaningful and beautiful. And for me, this is it. This is what actually makes me really happy. So thanks so much for joining me. I know I haven't been putting out these videos regularly, but for now, I think I'm just going to put them out whenever I feel called to do them. And I hope that they touch you in some way and inspire you to connect deeper to yourself in some way as well. Much love.